Got to repair this machine in order to bring everything back under control.
I don't know what caused the trouble.
There's your troublemaker. There's a mouse in the electronic booster chamber. Cute little thing.
Oh my, the only way we can get him out of there is through a narrow tube, and it's 10 feet long. We'll just have to rip this wall apart.
If we destroy these controls, Robin, we'll never be able to bring the outside world back to normal.
This is the hole he crawled through, and it's 10 feet long?
I'm afraid so.
Well, I know someone who can reach that mouse. Plastic Man.
You're right. I'll be back in a flash with Plastic Man.
Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to the Social Hour. This is a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Ramey. This is episode number 146 of my podcast here at Batman on Film. Let's ride. Pete Verra. Let's ride. Let's ride all the way to Seattle.
Yeah.
All the way to Seattle. I'm not going to Buffalo, but I'll go to Seattle.
You could go to Seattle.
Okay. All right.
It's slightly better weather. It's rainy and cold, not snowy and cold. So
Yep. I'm about to be riding to Minnesota for
there's gonna be a lot of snow there.
There will not, unfortunately.
No,
they're having a dry winter.
no
I mean, that's
hot
one of the
dish?
reasons. There'll be hot dish. There's hot dish, no matter what. Hot fish, lutefisk, the whole 9 yards, 220, 221, whatever it takes. Would you eat? You ever tried lutefisk? Do you even know what it is?
I think
explain to you.
Is it the fish that if I don't eat it the right way, I die?
It's a fish that at one time is poisonous because it's soaked in lye. Yeah.
Yeah, you've told me about this. I'd try it. Yeah.
Now, Garrett Greff, he eats it. He puts it on sandwiches. I think he tried to make a gumbo out of it one time. Put it in gumbo.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he eats it nonstop.
All right. Well, I mean, I know he doesn't eat meat. He's a vegan, so that makes sense.
Well, he eats that lutefisk, that fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you do in your Minnesota. You eat hot dish, Juicy Lucy's, and lutefisk.
What is a Juicy Lucy?
Juicy Lucy is a hamburger that has it's two patties with the cheese in between the patties, smashed together and cooked, so the cheese is inside the patties.
That
Juicy
sounds phenomenal.
Lucy.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. You ever had peanut butter on a hamburger?
Yes.
You
ever have pepperoni and peanut butter? It makes a hell of a sandwich. Makes a great drunk sandwich.
I would not
sugar
doubt that.
and salt.
Let me tell you.
It sounds crazy.
I know exactly. You take a hamburger patty and make a hamburger with the patty with peanut butter, bacon, and get that Tabasco jelly. You ever use that Tabasco jelly before?
Not the jelly.
You know Tabasco, right? Tabasco.
Yeah,
sauce,
I'm Tabasco.
right?
Yeah.
Tabasco has a jelly that's a pepper jelly. It's a spicy, spicy.
I'll track it down though. Sounds good.
Yeah, put that on there with some sautéed onions, and you won't believe it's probably one of the best hamburgers you ever ate.
I believe it.
Serious.
You can never go wrong with bacon.
So I made one for Micah. He thought it was the greatest thing he ever ate.
Sounds like it is.
Because you say it, you like, you ever had peanut butter on a hamburger? And they'll go, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, sugar and salt goes well together.
Yeah. All right. How about, you want to talk some Batman?
I'm always down to talk some Batman.
Let's talk some Batman.
You got some Batman to talk about?
I would do. At first, when you see an Aquaman 2?
probably that first weekend I can.
Okay. When is it? I don't even know when it comes out.
I think it drops the 22nd.
Okay. This week, coming weekend, right?
So we're looking, yeah. So probably if I can, I go see it on the 23rd, Saturday.
I didn't do it. I didn't go to the presser. I had something going on. So I haven't seen it. I'll see it. I'm not going open weekend. I'm just not like clamoring to see it. I'll see it during its run. I like James Wan. I like the first movie.
Yeah,
I know
I'm a big fan of the first movie.
So
I'm excited to see it. I really am.
It doesn't bother me that this doesn't lead to anything because I like movies for themselves.
Yeah.
I don't need to have to know that something is coming after that. It's setting
something is coming.
else up.
Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
that's
but it has nothing to do with Superman Legacy, you know? So if it was part of the DCU, then of course we would have probably David Cornsweet as Superman would show up in Aquaman 2 to help tease Superman Legacy. And
maybe he does. Maybe that's the post-credit scene.
Then we'd have 2 post-credit scenes with teasing more stuff that's coming up, because, for God's sake, we just can't have a movie that's self-contained and enjoy it for that. We have to always be looking for what's coming next, right? Because it's all freaking connected, correct?
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not, it's bullshit. It's got to be connected. Got to be. All right. Talk about something that's not connected to the DCU, and that is the Batman series with Matt Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few things, and then we'll get to the main topic here. Really leans heavily on Matt Reeves over at Warner Brothers and DC Studios. First of all, I guess it was been a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks, a week ago. James Gunn's on that Threads a lot. He does it. I think he does it more on Threads than on.
You want to know something that's funny?
Yeah.
Is that a lot of the zaddies have migrated to Threads?
Oh, is that right?
Verra wasn't good enough, so they went to It's funny. They've made their way to Threads. I think a lot of it has to do with. I don't know if it's harassing or just
they're harassing folks over there.
Well, no, they're not harassed because no one else is on Threads but them, so they just talk amongst themselves.
Okay.
So I guess it's fine, but I got a feeling it's because I think James Gunn does most of his work on Threads now.
Okay. They'll be hashtagging him soon, I'm sure. I would like for Threads to take off. I use Threads, but it's kind of like yelling into a empty cave, or it just echoes. Yelling into the
you and the zaddies in Threads.
Yeah, that's it.
Right,
that's
right
it.
where you belong, the both of you.
And James Gunn, that's all who's there. And so, but anyway, going back to he just he seems to answer a lot of questions, and ask about. I think they ask him about. Anyway, the bottom line was he said that the Batman Part 2, he knows what it's about because he knows the pitch, but the script wasn't ready. And I had been saying on Batman on Film that I'd heard that filming may get pushed back, like to the middle-ish part of the year, June-ish, summertime. Production Weekly is saying May now.
Okay. So question. Yeah. So when we've been talking about Reeves and Tomlin been working on something for a while now, are they working on the pitch? Was it a treatment? If it's not the script?
No, I think,
curious.
He's kind of, I'm sure. I think what Gunn meant is that, from meeting with Reeves, he knows what the story is about. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Matt Reeves is he's probably not having to answer directly when it comes to this stuff to James Gunn. Keep him in the loop. We're going to get to all that because I think that this is the reason why I believe this. I think that I thought differently, but it looks like that during the strikes they probably just shut it down and didn't work on it. And even though they had been working on it for quite a while, and then I had heard that they were finishing up, so it looks like I said, Production Weekly says May. Someone in the know told me May as well. May, he's also, he, she, one or the other. They, I won't use pronouns. They told me that it was, middle. That's one who said middle of the year ish. That's a couple of people actually. So more than one. So May. So a lot of questions I get revolves around that is when we're going to hear about casting. Well, this time of year is traditionally we don't hear much because everything kind of shuts down starting after Thanksgiving through Christmas and New Year. But I think
I'm surprised we've gotten at least a little bit of news we've gotten recently in the last 2 weeks.
That's
it's a bit surprising.
Yeah, because usually you don't. It's just I guess because there was so much to make up, after the strikes. There's probably less vacationing than is usually taking.
I feel
place
like if you go back like 07, 08, like December 1st, they're shut down.
Yeah,
we're the 19th and we're still getting news, so it's kind of like a new world.
So for all those asking when we were going to get news about the casting on the Batman Part 2, I'm first part of the year. It's my best guess. If they're going to start filming in May, that's just 2 months from the original. It would be heard March. So they'll start here around the first of the year. So, but moving on from that, any thoughts on that before I move on to another topic?
No real thought. Just
patiently
waiting. I don't want them to be rushed. I don't want them to feel rushed.
I thought you deserved to know everything immediately. As soon as you deserve to know. You deserve to know.
The only thing I want to know is Aquaman the shit show that everyone says it is. That's actually what I deserve to know, and I will know that very soon. So that's actually the more concerning topic at hand.
I bet it's okay.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure I will sit down and enjoy it. But I'm just saying I'm not necessarily worried about the Batman yet because I have some things in between.
Are there any reviews for Aquaman out yet? Since
no, not yet. I know Rebel Moon has a few.
I'm not going there. You're not going to get me to go there. Oh boy. Let me just sidestep real quick. Okay. All right. So to finish up there, I don't think that the Batman Part 2 is going to get the release date's going to get changed. I mean, we're still and we're damn near 2 years, what are we see?
I mean, I was playing as the what I like to call the Pat suit in Arkham Knight recently. The Robert Pattinson Bat suit has been available for download and use, and I've been having fun dipping into that game. It's been a while since I played that, so if I need the Batman, I can just rewatch the movie, play him in a video game, or I don't know. There's Riddler Year One. There's the prequel novel. I got more than enough to keep me entertained.
Does he look like? Does it look like Robert Pattinson in the face, or is it
in the face?
Or is it the Arkham? Or is it the Arkham model?
If I'm not mistaken, I feel like it's the Arkham model, but he looks. I think he looks good. A little bit like Pattinson, but they did a great job of detailing the suit and everything. The suit itself looks really phenomenal.
It looks good on there. Yeah.
Overall, it looks great. I wish we got the car. That would have been something special. But with the suit. But I'm happy to get the suit. Maybe somewhere down the line they'll give us a Reeves Batmobile. That'd be nice.
Okay.
But it's fun mixing and matching suits.
What are you playing it on? What platform?
Currently, I have an Xbox One.
Okay. That's the same level as
PlayStation 4.
Okay. So I have Arkham Knight and I have PlayStation 4, so I could get that skin. Okay. I may go back and dip into Arkham Knight. I got stuck on one part.
It's fun.
I got stuck on one part. I could not freaking get past it, and I just quit. I haven't touched it.
What the hell's Jake doing? Isn't that what he's there for?
He plays a damn Siege. You know what that is?
No.
Yeah. It's on the computer. He plays.
You got two boys. They got to help you out there.
Now, Micah. Jake plays that Siege. He was even all into esports at the University of North Texas. He was like, the leader of the. And they got sponsored to play a big ass national collegiate esports tournament. I think they finished top top 8 or
Nice,
something
nice.
like
Good
that.
stuff.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, so any of you out there who played this Siege, you'll know what it is. It looks like, to me, it looks like freaking Call of Duty, one of those type games.
All
Okay. All right. All right. So let's see. James Gunn addressed why the Batman is not part of the DCU. I think the answer is pretty simple, but I can give you what he said.
I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
He said, someone asked, why isn't Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, why aren't they allowed for that Batman to, why aren't they making that part of the DCU? It's, because they would like to see Pattinson's Batman as the DCU Batman after the Batman saga, blah, blah, blah. And James Gunn said, it's not allowed. He's not allowing that.
Who is he? He is who? Who's not allowing this? Gunn or
James
Reeves?
Gunn?
Okay.
Gunn is not, allowing Matt Reeves to do anything. He is not part. That Batman is not part of the DCU because that was Matt Reeves' choice, and he and they. He says they. We respect that. So with we, I'm sure it's DC Studios. He and Peter Safran, Warner Brothers, and so yes, Matt Reeves has always been. Matt Reeves doesn't want this Batman story because it's a personal to him. This is his interpretation of Batman to be part of a shared universe, and that was it from the beginning. The very conception of it. And so I thought go ahead.
Would James Gunn allow other directors to follow suit? Like, let's say there's a director who just wants to make a standalone, I don't know, Green Lantern or Wonder Woman movie.
They've got Elseworlds. I've said it a million times. It's there for a reason. So I'd say theoretically, it depends on who the filmmaker is.
I just need a little more confirmation on what this Elseworld banner is. Other than just like, well, these things were successful and they're holdovers, so we're waiting until.
Well, I think that's certainly part of it with Joker.
Because 2. Superman and Lois is coming to an end. That was one of the holdovers. The other one was Joker, right? I believe Harley Quinn, the animated series, and the Batman. Those seems to be outliers.
And he's also said that there not everything live action or animation will be DCU. There will be DC stuff coming that's not part of the connected DCU. So I'm assuming, would you assume as well that then that stuff they will all carry the Elseworlds banner? Do we really need to put an Elseworlds banner on the Harley Quinn animated series, at some point, or is it just everybody knows what it is?
Yeah, my whole thing is I need to see this really take place before anything else. Like until I actually see it, it's all just talk, right? Like I feel like I need to see something that was created while the DCU is going on as its own separate, like post DCU. Like I need the DCU to be here, but I also need that like standalone idea to come around. So I like, okay, you guys are serious about this. Like it's just okay. It's all wait and see for me. I need to see something really happen before I can believe it.
Okay, let's say I got a couple examples. What if I think first of all, I said it just a second. I think it depends on the filmmaker, who the filmmaker is. If it's some top-notch guru filmmaker who has an idea for something that's a DC property, but he wants it to be, not part of the DCU stuff, I think that Warner Brothers, Gunn and Company, DC Studios would be foolish not to at least take the pitch and think about it, at least. What if, Spielberg has been talking, with Black Hawks for a while, what if that comes to fruition and he just says, yes, it's a DC property. I'd just like it to be, I want to do a World War II Black Hawks movie. I don't need it. I don't want it to be tied into, it's not a prequel or anything to
I'm thinking more along the lines of like what this Mangold Swamp Thing movie was supposed to be. I feel like we haven't heard anything about it for a while.
Yeah.
But I believe that was supposed to be, at one point we thought it was DCU, but now I think it's its own thing. So
okay. I don't know. Is it? Then it's probably Elseworlds.
I feel like, well, yeah, but it's also like, I feel like nothing's really been said about it in a long time. So now I'm kind of wondering like, oh, did this thing die out? So yeah, like I like the ideas. I like that idea. I don't hate it. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I need to see it like actually enacted before I'm like, just yeah, great. Like it's just.
I mean,
okay, it
what
sounds
if
like a
they
good idea.
do? Okay, what about?
I've seen them throw ideas at me before that never happened.
What about someone comes in? Who did Watchmen? Who was that guy?
Zack Snyder.
No. And I actually like that movie. The TV series, the HBO, the Prestige series.
Oh, I don't know
who's that creator.
The showrunner.
Yeah, created that. One of the guy like Lindelhoff or something like that. I can't remember. Somebody out there will know, and they'll say in the comments, "How in the hell you don't know?" But
Damon Lindelof.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
he was Lost, sure. Right? He's the one who created Lost originally.
Okay. I have no idea.
I think so. And then anyway, he was the showrunner. He was the creator of the Watchmen TV series. Someone like him, I don't know, say the guys from the guys who did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, or the guys behind the Fargo.
Yeah. I mean, even something as crazy as like, I don't know, Del Toro doing Dead Man. Like, yeah.
Well,
I'd be like all about it.
And he says, okay, I want to do, Kingdom Come, but I don't want it, I want it to be very much like what Watchmen was in its own thing and not, else.
Sure.
And, I think they would be, they'd be doing themselves a disservice not to include that kind of stuff. And what,
I feel like this is kind of how Joker evolved, right? Like,
yeah.
Phillips came up with an idea. He's a successful director. No one figured him to be, to go this kind of deep with a Joker story. But I feel like this is exactly what Joker is. Like Phillips had a pitch. It was, they bought it and they moved forward.
Yeah.
And that was at a time where the DCU was really kind of like trying to, plug up a lot of holes with duct tape.
I mean, I wouldn't mind the Val-Zod Elseworld Superman film or series on on Max. I mean, I hope they do stuff like this. It doesn't have to be, and I'm not talking about specifically take Elseworlds stories from the comics and turn them into movies or whatnot, but just I'm talking about the banner, the film. Same thing. You said Del Toro doing Dead Man. That would be awesome,
Yeah.
And so, but hopefully they continue that stuff. But I think that's the reason Matt Reeves doesn't want the Batman. I would say that there probably was a discussion when Gunn and Safran came on board, and they had a meeting with Matt Reeves, and he probably said something like, "What do you think about at some point your Batman, coming to this new DCU?"
Oh, without a doubt, these conversations took place.
Yeah.
It's funny how many conversations Matt Reeves has had with other people about just either taking over their Batman or shoving his Batman in their universe. Like he clearly doesn't want to share. He wants this all to himself. And I think Gunn understands that as a creative person, which is why I think, going back to your previous point, topic, I think Gunn will listen to these other directors because he is a director himself. He's kind of like it's like what Nolan does when he kind of like, he when he's like producing stuff, he's always leans with the director because he is a director. He's not really a producer. He's a director, and I think Gunn will listen to people's pitches and stuff. So you might actually see this stuff get done. I'm just very hesitant about it, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Between Gunn and Reeves, they've definitely had these conversations.
Yeah, and Reeves said, hey, I have this vision. I'm doing this epic crime saga with the Penguin and whatever. And no, I mean, he doesn't want it with, he doesn't want this. It's its own thing, its own universe. There's no Superman. There's no superpowered beings. It's grounded. I mean, I've said it. I think it's more grounded than the Nolan films. So that's the reason, because they respect Matt Reeves. And they want to be in the Matt Reeves business, and the Batman made, damn near.
And Reeves has proven himself.
$800 million. Yes, hell yeah. They don't want. Look, they've lost directors left and right. They lost Nolan after all the with the HBO Max fiasco. When during the COVID, and so you want to keep a Matt Reeves at Warner Brothers. So. And this is related, and kind of like the main thing we'll get to, what leads into that is that, again, James Gunn answering questions on threads, and I'm going to get his quote exactly right. So there was this Arkham series, right? We thought that Matt Reeves was going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
We always thought it was like the Penguin. It was part of the Reevesverse, the Batverse, the Batman saga, whatever you want to use.
At one point, didn't it absorb the GCPD show as well?
Yes. And apparently that's not the case. When he was asked, someone says, could you tell me if Matt Reeves is producing another Batverse project other than the Batman 2, Penguin, and Arkham? And James Gunn says, right now, Matt is producing Arkham as a DCU series. So there's just the two for now. So referring to the Batman Part 2 and Penguin. And someone asked, sorry, do you mean the Arkham show is set in DCU? Yes, we love Matt as a director and producer. So he'll be producing stories both within the Batman universe and within the DCU. As I wrote, I'm reading my article, actually. I said, and it's interesting on many levels. He says he's going to be producing projects for both. So there should be more projects than the Batman Part 2 and the Penguin upcoming in that saga. And then he's going to be producing stuff also it's within the DCU. So my takeaway from that, and and what he said before about why the Batman saga isn't part of the DCU, and why that Batman won't just move over into that once they're done, is that I think Matt Reeves is he's kind of in charge of Batman on film at Warner Brothers. Hey y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor.
Is this the exception?
Yes.
No other character will be handled this way.
I don't think you're going to have a guru or a godfather overseeing every DC character, not even the main three. I mean, Gunn is in charge. I mean, that's kind of.
It seems like Matt Reeves is in charge of James Gunn.
That's kind of well, he perceives
when it comes to Batman. He
perceives James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Right when he took on the gig, it was under a different regime. There was no DC Studios, no James Gunn, no Peter Safran. Things were, that was when they were under the Hamada plan of, yes, there's the DCEU with connected stuff, but there's also, we're just going to make good DC films. Some will connect, some won't, blah, blah, blah. And that's how we know Reeves came aboard with Batman. That's what they were going to do. And it seems like, oh, look, it doesn't hurt that the Batman was a huge success. Let's be honest. If the Batman didn't do well, then I think it would maybe be a moot point. But
what better way for Matt Reeves to really control what goes on with his character or his take on Batman than really being essentially the godfather of the character, right? Like, think about it, what he can turn. Well, you guys can't do that because I have an idea.
Yeah. And maybe he
that,
has,
like, hey, okay,
maybe he
I'm
ends
using
up
that Robin. You can't use this Robin.
I think the dust on has settled. I think that's, I think they both know I think Gunn knows what Matt Reeves has planned through the saga and what characters will be used. And I think Matt Reeves knows what Gunn planned, the take that Gunn
So
wants.
they know what players are on the table.
Sure. I think
they know what toys they're going to play with.
Yeah. I think Gunn, I think Matt knows what James Gunn wants direction he wants to take this DCU Batman with the brave and bold stuff. It would not shock me if Matt Reeves had a producer credit on the brave and the bold.
Does this give you vibes of what they offered Nolan years ago?
Kind of. It does. Someone asked me that, and I said, kind of. I said, but I think they kind of wanted Chris. They wanted Chris to run the whole damn thing. Yeah, they wanted him to be the godfather of DC on film. And of course, his was like, we make good movies. We don't worry about them connecting. We just get good filmmakers in here, and they're like, we got to have our Avengers. So no, thank you. And kind of that, and he kind of went, okay, well, I'm not going to get involved in the connected stuff. So I'll just go do some other stuff. I don't care. I don't need this. So, but it's for Batman. And look, let me be clear. This is purely me speculating, educated speculation, plus just throwing out, kind of reading the tea leaves here. I would say that they definitely want to be in the Matt Reeves business post the Batman saga. And then not only with Matt developing stuff, he signed that deal with Warner Brothers, production deal, not for just DC or Batman, but other stuff as well. And, he's got but I think even if him doing non-DC, non-Batman stuff, wouldn't you want him involved going forward with your DC stuff? And I tell you, I'll be honest. I think he is the most knowledgeable. When it comes to Batman, he's the most knowledgeable filmmaker we've had to direct on any of the solo Batman films. That includes Chris Nolan.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he's a Batman fan. He's like us.
I like that Reeves is in control of Batman because that puts his movies in the forefront. Like they're the more important things. I'm glad he's in control of the movie. Just because I like what he's doing. I feel like they should just approach every character like this. Like, get a creative person in there and have them do their thing, and then at some point, maybe you bring everything together. I don't know. I don't really like how they're going about it especially with Superman Legacy. It just feels like everything's already thrown in there.
Well, yeah. If it was up to me, I subscribe to the Chris Nolan school of thought when it comes to this. I would just make good DC movies. I wouldn't have any pre-planned storyline, interwoven storyline,
especially with the way the landscape is right now.
Yeah, you're coming. You got
both brands, not just DC,
you got the MCU staggering. I mean that's kind of running out of steam.
They just lost Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, it's inevitable. And he's supposed to be the big. He was supposed to be the new.
Everything
Thanos,
was built around him and his character, and now
not well, recast the guy, whatever.
Kang.
Who cares? Who cares about Kang? I don't know what Kang is.
I agree with you.
I mean, I at least knew what Thanos was. I did Dark Side rip.
Well, you didn't watch Loki. You didn't see Ant-Man 3.
Well, there you go. There you bring up. Bringing up the exact reason. Thank you. For why the MCU is starting to wobble is because connected stuff like this will run out of steam. It is harder to reboot an entire connected universe than it is to do what's been done with Spider-Man and with Batman for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
is that
I miss those days.
So yeah, I think Matt Reeves has a future with DC at Warner Brothers after the Batman saga, and
to be honest,
Batman, in my opinion.
This also makes me even question even more whether Andy Muschietti is directing The Brave and the Bold. Like, I don't think he's actually ever going to direct this movie. I think he'll be replaced at some point, just because I think they were trying to hype up the Flash movie.
You bring out a good.
He's going to direct the next Batman, but
you bring out.
Hopefully, Reeves will stay on for something.
Others. I said they'll say, well, who's James Gunn going to cast as such as Batman? Or I bet if Matt Reeves comes, if he is in charge of Batman on film, I bet he ends up casting the Batman. And I'm like, hold on a second here. Hold on. Here's how this needs to work. Here's how this needs to go. Here's the chain. Here's the protocol. Here's how you do it. Okay. Let's say right now, Muschietti stays on to direct The Brave and the Bold. Or he doesn't, and he's replaced with someone who will not be Matt Reeves. So that ain't gonna happen. I've already seen that out there. Like, I wouldn't doubt it. Matt Reeves just comes over, he finishes the Batman, then he goes and directs a new different. No, not gonna happen. Whoever they hired to direct, that's who should be the ultimate decision maker on who that Batman is. Because that's how it's done. Reeves chose Pattinson, Burton chose Keaton, Chris Nolan cast Bell. You have this, okay, here's what I want to do, and I think this dude fits, okay?
But then Reeves isn't the in charge of Batman until he's not.
Well, no, I'm not saying. I think being in charge of Batman on Batman doesn't mean that you're actually okay. For example, Chris Nolan godfathered Man of Steel, right?
Yes.
Okay, but Zack Snyder, when he was chosen, Zack Snyder cast that movie, not Chris Nolan. Okay. I think it's more of a producer thing. It's a producer thing. Is that I'm there for ideas. I'm a Batman guru, not me. I'm Matt Reeves. I'm a Batman fan. I know a lot about Batman. You're producer. You're an ideas guy. Help create. And then, but I think the director ultimately should cast. And that brings up another issue that I don't, when it comes to this, the shared universe stuff, and having DC Films, you having this Feige as a group there at DC Warner Brothers with Gunn and Safran, is that I don't like that when it's like, what's Gunn going to do with, who's going to cast for Brave and the Bold? Who's going to cast for well, if you're doing that, that's, where's your filmmakers? What kind of filmmaker is going to take a job where he's going to be told who's going to be cast and what the story is?
Well, I mean, look at the MCU. There's a whole list of them.
Well, there you go. That's my point.
There's very few.
There you go. Exactly.
Googlers and the Raimeys, obviously they're the exception, but the Russos are. Feige, they're nothing.
We're just gonna, then are we just cookie cutting what the MCU did, and we're not gonna have strong filmmakers coming in anymore to do these good.
I once believed that Warner Brothers was the filmmaker studio, but
it's supposed to be.
I don't think that applies to DC.
It's supposed to.
I don't think that applies to DC anymore.
So that's maybe not, and there you go. There's another negative when it comes to this overtly shared universe.
We're just in a weird position because it's like, the end of the DCEU, the birth of the DCU. We're used to seeing one thing. We haven't seen this new shiny thing yet. It's still got to come, and Joker's in between. It's kind of funny. It's when you think about it.
All right, you got Joker coming next year. You got the Batman Part 2 coming, which will be after Legacy. If everything stays on track. So there'll only be the DCU will commence. Well, it commences with that what's that? Creature Commandos?
Yeah, I believe that is the first official.
Why are they doing that? Why was that animation? Is there
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
Because they got like David Harbour. Am I saying that right?
Harbor, yeah.
David Harbour. Okay. He is, I know him mostly from Stranger Things, but he is Frankenstein, right?
I believe
voicing Frankenstein.
Yep.
Now what? And so I see Scuttlebutt of like, but they could be in live action at some point. So the voice actors would play the roles in live action.
Yeah, I believe that is
okay.
That is the theory.
So when does this Creature Commandos kick off?
The live action movie? I mean, I'm sure after they appear in Superman Legacy.
Well, it's next year. That's a 2024 thing.
Well, they're gonna get the animation out, and then they'll probably, I don't know, appear in somebody else.
And then they'll show up in Superman Legacy. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Everybody's in Superman Legacy but Batman.
Yeah, Ambush Bug is in there. You know.
Yeah, he's Johnny DC's in there too.
Yeah, Stretch. Well, the Stretch guys, Plastic Man,
Elongated Man,
elongated. I thought it was elongated lad. Elongated
maybe
man.
at one point.
What was Jimmy Olsen? Wasn't he a Stretch guy at one time?
He was Captain Action. He's been a few things. He's been a few things.
He was a Stretch guy.
He gets in trouble once in a while, Jimmy. You know,
how's he get hold of this stuff?
Usually it's by accident.
It's like yellow kryptonite or some crazy concoction, like 1950s kind of stuff they did.
Yeah.
Back then, that yellow kryptonite, you touch that, you could become a Stretch guy. How many Stretch guys are there?
You got Mr. Fantastic. He's probably the most famous.
I'm talking about just DC Stretch guys.
As far as I know, you've got Elongated Man and Plastic Man.
What was the damn Jimmy? Didn't he have a name, the Jimmy Olsen Stretch guy?
He probably did. Jimmy, he always ends up trying to be a superhero at some point, and then he gets, I don't know, radiation or gamma rays or whatever it is, and he ends up changing. It's happened a few times.
Okay, he was Elastic Lad.
There you go.
Okay.
You like Stretch guys?
No, I'm a
Stretch guy. Robin can't beat a Batman comic, but a guy can stretch across the football field.
I'll take a Stretch guy over a Robin any
you're such a Scrooge. Unbelievable. Oh, Robin can't get no love.
I think
Mr. Gritty and realistic, like Stretch guys over teenage sidekicks.
And and then you throw in Mr. Fantastic. He's the same. He's just a Stretch guy, even though he's Marvel.
He's not the same. He married Sue Storm. Give that man some credit.
But he's still he just stretches, right? That's all he does.
He's a genius. He's a brilliant man. He's a scientist.
But he stretches, right?
He's a Stretch guy. Yeah.
He's a Stretch guy.
He's a Stretch guy.
It's like you've got, just talking DC again, you got all these Stretch guys.
We've named three.
There's
more guys that fly than Stretch guys.
Hell, everybody flies in DC. They got freaking Wonder Woman flying, and Aquaman can fly, and
he swims
underwater.
That's not really flying.
Yeah, but when he's out in the freaking,
that's called jumping. That's falling with style.
Oh. So it's like also like cold people, freeze villains. There's Killer Frost. There's Mr. Freeze. There's Captain Cold.
Icicle.
All of these, every character, every superhero in DC, they have a Stretch guy who's some sort of sidekick, and then they got a freeze villain. A freeze villain. That's the way they operate.
Yeah, I guess.
How many of the same damn character? Isn't Captain Cold and Mr. Freeze the same damn character, essentially?
No. They're different. They have the same gimmick. They're just different characters. They're totally different motivations.
Oh, I know they're different. You take out the Batman the Animated Series that actually gave Mr. Freeze a background. right?
Well,
Like
Cole's got a good background though. He's got a great rich
like
character.
Captain Cole. Like, look, when it went back in the 50s,
with his sister, the things with his father, how he's motivated. He wants to be the greatest criminal. You know, the rogues.
That's all new stuff. That wasn't like that back in the day, right? He just was all these DC. They were like, that's back even more like stuff Michael Uslan taught me is like every freaking editor of every character, they had their own thing going. If someone had a damn freeze guy over in the Flash universe. Well, it doesn't matter. Batman can have Mr.
Well, that's
Mr.
why it's
Zero.
not connected because then you could
Mr.
steal everybody's
Zero.
ideas.
Because Mr. Zero with Batman, and then Captain Cold over there with the Flash, and then who in the hell else knows how many cold people there are. I like to see that, like just like a chart. Somebody needs to make a spreadsheet of this.
So we need to know all the stretch guys in DC.
All the stretch guys.
Bill's a big stretch guy fan.
Like I said, I had a Stretch Armstrong when I was a kid. You ever have
You like
that?
stretch guys, yeah.
Yeah. Stretch.
And remember, if you pulled them too far, you just put a Band-Aid on them.
Yeah. He had that syrup type stuff.
Yeah,
come out of him when you broke.
He always had. What did he have? He had the black muscle shirt, right, with the shorts.
How many people actually? How many kids took a pair of scissors or a knife and cut open Stretch Armstrong to see what was inside of him?
I was too afraid I'd never get a new one. I never did.
So I need a spreadsheet. All right, here's a new project: spreadsheet of stretch guys, cold people, and people who can fly.
Let's get Javi to do this.
Javi would know. He probably, yeah. That sounds like a job for Javi.
Javi will back me up on Captain Cold, though. He's not the same character as Mr. Freeze.
But they do the same damn thing, right?
Well, so does Batman and Superman. They both fight crime.
Well, Batman doesn't fly.
See, now he's
and he does.
Well, so who's Batman? Fingers or cane?
No, that would be the different. You'd have like. He would be him. I guess it'd just be him and frickin' Green Arrow. The only two that don't have any damn powers. Who else? Who else is a superhero and DC has no powers?
Robin.
Well, I said superhero.
He's a superhero. Dick Grayson's a superhero.
He's a frickin' gimmicky. He's a sidekick to bring in 12-year-old kids. Yeah.
Episode is Batman and Blue Beetle. Like, what? You crack me up sometimes. Really, you do.
I'm a stretch guy, man.
You're a stretch guy. You're a stretch guy. Oh, boy. So there you go. Bill's a stretch guy.
And you got Nate. Like Namor. The Submariner. I know he's Marvel. He's the same as Aquaman, right?
Well, he's got little wings on his feet.
Yeah. He's got Spock ears.
Yeah.
But they're both, isn't he King of Atlantis too in the comics? But he's Marvel, so it's not like he's not like.
I mean, DC and Marvel both have a Hercules.
Yeah. Now DC has a Thor, but it's back in the day.
It's like Greek god Thor.
Yeah.
Greekish. Not like
so is this Thor.
Mjolnir. I don't know. I mean, I never got into Thor because they always wrote in like calligraphy and he always talked funny, and I was like, I can't read this. As a kid, I had no patience.
I have never read a Thor comic book in my life. The only Thor that I know is I think it was the MCU.
It was the one from the Hulk.
Name? Yeah.
He was in the Hulk
TV show.
Yeah, Ferno.
Yeah. Because I was all about that show when I was a kid. I was just hoping they get a stretch guy.
Was it Bill Bixby? Was that the guy who played
Bill Bixby? Bill Bixby was
Dr. Banner.
He was, yes, Dr. David Banner. They changed to Bruce. I don't know why they changed it from Bruce, but he was David Banner.
There were certain they thought Bruce was I think somewhat of a feminine name. So they decided
What?
David was more masculine.
Is that for real?
I think I read that somewhere. I could be mistaken, but it was something there was something about the name Bruce. They just did not think highly.
How in the
of it.
hell Bruce Wayne is Batman? How more masculine can you get than that?
What do you want me to tell you? These people did stupid things back in the day.
I just remember, and I was watching. I was hoping they get a stretch guy on there.
You're a big Stretch Guy fan.
They should have had a stretch guy.
You want that Plastic Man movie? That's what you want.
I would like a Plastic Man movie, even though
Plastic Man should show up in the Batman too. Would you be a fan of
that? No.
You know, Stretch Guy's there.
I have limits on my stretch guy love. Okay, I don't want him too
Elongated Man was on the Flash for a little bit. I don't know if you stuck around, but he was there on the CW.
Wasn't it like awful CGI?
No, it wasn't that bad. He would have been around a lot longer, but he did something stupid on social media and he lost his job.
It was Elongated Man.
It was Elongated Man. Yeah, Ralph Dimmy.
So what? Okay, so it wasn't Jimmy Olsen, Elastic Lad. That's elongated. Elastic Lad. Okay, stretch guys from DC. Elongated Lad. No, Elongated Man. Elastic Lad. Man. Plastic Man. Any other stretch people? Because I got to know. Oh, yeah, Javi's on that with his.
We're getting Javi.
Get Javi on that.
Javi's gonna give us a breakdown on stretch guys. I didn't know you were a big Stretch Guy fan. I'm gonna start buying you Plastic Man. I thought you just like Crazy Quill.
Well, you know what? If he was a stretch guy, I'd really like the hell out of him. But
I saw you put up a bunch of your old comics. Now,
yeah,
is that all you got? Do you have like a long box?
No.
You have what do you have in like the attic?
No, a lot of them are up in the attic. Those I had in a file cabinet. Like I said, these were ones I bought and read as a kid. I never, back in then, I didn't.
They look well read.
I didn't bag them or anything. Show them to you real quick. They're right here. Yeah, I got a bunch. These are just some of the I pulled out because they were. This is Detective 451. Beware the Night of the Batman.
That's a nice cover.
Any of these you recognize? Here's Batman 267.
That's a good cover too.
I'm trying to see if there's any side stories with a stretch guy in any of these.
Plastic Man backups.
This is Detective.
We got to get Clark Bull on this. Gives you some stretch guy comics.
472. Yeah.
Bill's also interested in stretch guys. You got any books coming out about the Elongated Man?
StretchGuyOnFilm.com. I have to go back and watch that Flash just because they had a stretch guy on there.
You read those early Justice League International. Batman's in it. You have Plastic Man. You'll like that.
What's like? Okay, well, this will be the last one. You have cold people, stretch guys, and then you got fast runners. There's like Johnny Quick. There's been a bunch of them. The Flash.
There's 3 Flashes, 4 Flashes.
Johnny
Flash
Quick.
got kids.
I mean, that's another one.
Then you got the Reverse Flash, right? And then Zoom, who's the Reverse Flash.
You got,
then
like
Inertia, who's
Flash,
Kid Flash is the bad Kid Flash.
Flash TV show, every damn person on there became a damn speedster at some point.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the few things with the CW I didn't like. Everyone had a team and everyone had powers.
You know what? You know what would have kept me around on that show a little bit longer? Guy. If what's his name? Cisco had become a stretch guy. Then I'd been all in.
He had powers. He wasn't a stretch guy.
Yeah, I know. He had like some kind of psychic powers, but give me the stretch guy. If he became a stretch guy, I'd been over with right then. I've stayed on board. Then you made, what's her name? What was the doctor? Dr. Chick, who became Killer Frost. Caitlin Snow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not ironic, right? Like Victor Freeze, Caitlin Snow. I become a cold.
Oh, well, Gotham tried to fix that. They called him Victor Fries.
Ice person. Oh, did they?
They called him Fries, like French. I was like, what?
Oh, God. She could have became like. Here's another one I like. There's Firestorm. I can think of DC, like fire people. You got Human Torch, kind of like the Human Torch back when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fire guy like that at DC, right?
No. Closest you get to, I think, is Heat Wave.
Yeah, there's Heat Wave, but he's kind of the opposite of Mr.
But he doesn't have powers. He's using like propane and gas, you know.
So Heat Wave and the Firefly, they're the same damn thing. Bunch of fire.
I'll give you that. Heat Wave and Firefly are both pyro. Yeah, they're the same. The only difference is Firefly fly.
They're fire throwers.
Yeah.
Then you got Firestorm. He just got that head that follows him around all the time.
Which is similar to Starfire. She's got a head full of fire, right?
Yeah. His hair's on fire. He's got that guy. Aren't they two merged people?
Yes.
And then
the professor.
One of them, the head is the other guy floats in the air all the time around him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll go back and watch The Brave and the Bold. How many
people think you say your life doesn't revolve around DC, but you know what you're talking about.
I know a lot about DC. You give me fire people, stretch guys, and cold people, and speedsters, Johnny Quick, and all anything.
But the teenage sidekicks no good.
No, Jim. All of them go. They all can go away.
Even Bucky. You don't like Bucky?
Wonder Girl, Bucky, they can Robin, they all jump off a cliff. You know what happened? They have a stretch guy there, like a stretch guy sidekick, and he'll
be down there and catch them. They catch him like a pillow.
He would turn into a trampoline, and they'd fall on it and survive. So that's how that would go. Okay. That's how that would go.
Woody banter was saved for the end of the episode today.
All right. Pete, anything you want to plug?
You can follow me on social media at Pete Illustrated. You can follow my podcast. I co-hosted Eric Holzman, Straight Gotham at straight_O_G on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow my other podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition, at Spidey Coalition on Twitter, and check us out wherever you can find your podcasts. BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film podcasts, and Batman on Film YouTube. I'm all over those places, so check me out there. And that seems to be it.
Let's start a Stretch Guy podcast.
Stretch Guy on Film?
Stretch Guy on Film, or the Stretch Guy, something.
Just the Stretch Guy podcast.
The Stretch Guy podcast. And we won't be, you don't have to be publisher centric. We can talk about Mr. Fantastic. We can talk about Elongated Man and Elastic Lad and all of the Stretch Guys.
All the Stretch guys.
You can even talk about Stretch Armstrong.
Anyone who stretches.
If you stretch, you're
if you're a stretch guy, you count.
Yeah. All right, BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman-on-film.com. Check everything that is over there. Everything that Pete does, everything that Lauer does, everything that it's Kasab free, so you're safe when you go over there to Batman on Film. You're safe. You're with your friends. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about a stretch guy getting you or anything.
He might get you. Watch out for a stretch guy.
All right. About time I hand this over to Announcer Rachel. So thanks for listening. Here's Announcer Rachel. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm Announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film, founded in 1998.
Say goodbye, Graceland.